3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of Men at Work. I'm Kyle Pagan. As always, I'm joined by Matt Peoples. We are at a conference. It might not look like a conference, people, but we are at a conference. We're at the Working Moms Conference. We want to shout out the blue collar. We want to shout out the white collar.
Criminals.
We want to shout out the middle class.
Momies.
Momies, my God. Hey, shout out to everybody. Thanks for getting us to 2,000 followers on Instagram,
Yeah,
45, almost at 5,000 on TikTok. So we appreciate
Crazy.
you guys listening and stuff. If you're first time listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, it's pretty simple. We just go random places like a conference and ask people what they do for a living. Today, we're going to talk to a bunch of MILFs.
Oh, yeah, boy, are we ever, dude. We're talking to strong, accomplished women. Kyle looks at them that way. I don't. I
Moms in love with functional society.
Yo, bada boom. And also, folks, bada bing. Moms in love with functional society. What a dirty dog, dude.
Yeah, you know, I had you in the first half.
I love that. I
And I
love
also
that
had
a
you in the
lot.
second half.
I thought I was covering for misogyny for a quick second, and I forgot that you're just too good of a guy, man.
Oh, dude, come on, man. I am the bit master.
Wow.
I'm the bit master. So, yeah, we're here at the Working Moms Conference. So we'll be talking to a couple speakers. We'll talk to a couple people that are attending and everything. Maddie, was your mom a working mom, or was she a trad wife, or was she a housewife? Yo.
Hello, Kyle. What are you doing?
Nothing. Sitting there watching the game, smoking some Thrive.
Are you all alone? Who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone.
What's up?
Yo, Cheeto, pick up the phone.
Yo. What's up?
What you doing, son?
Nothing. Just chilling. Killing.
True.
I had the dominant combo, dude. I had a working mom and a smoking mom. That's a lady who puts in long hours. So I did have a working mom my whole life. She let us kind of roam free the first couple of years, but then she was back in corporate America, holding down a YMCA,
Damn.
membership director, 40 hours a week. But no, dude, my mom, it was great. My mom was a hardworking bitch, dude. She put the kids through middle school, high school, college, all that while working. Okay. Is that my dad? Dude. So, well, I'm trying, Dad, you know.
I love when our fans come out the podcast.
Yeah, it's good to see the boys, dude. It's good to see the boys in public in the wild. But what about you? You got a working mom?
Yeah, dude, my mom worked in HR, dude.
Really?
Yeah, she was the queen of piss tests. She worked for I forget what it was called. It's not a construction company, but it's like a line management company. Like they would be on like the lines and stuff. So, dude, she would deal with the best of the best, the good old boys and the good old boys. Guys
Dude.
in the Midwest, guys in the South, guys in the West that were linemen. So they'd be up on the telephone poles all day, and those dudes are insane.
HR for linemen sounds like
Yeah.
90 hours a week minimum.
Just imagine, like, hey, dude, you got to go to this place and piss in a cup.
Yeah.
Like, she obviously did more than that, but I always, like, her main job was, like, pissing in a cup and child support payments.
Yeah, and they're like, how do I get to this place? I need a ride. I don't have my license.
Because they were all contractors and everything, so they would go out to, the Midwest, and then another contract, they'd go to the West. So they had, kids in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then they would have kids in San Francisco.
Fans in Atlanta?
Yeah. Fans in Atlanta, yeah. Kids down in Texas. Like, she was just chasing these guys all the time, being like, dude, your child support is like 6 months overdue right now. You got to pay.
Is your mom because you're a bit of a tough bitch.
She's
Is your
tough
mom
bitch.
a tough bitch?
She's a
yeah.
tough bitch.
How so? Give me a couple examples. She kind of just like stirring at the dinner table, or she kind of like doesn't laugh at your jokes?
Well, she smoked in the house.
Sure, of
I
course.
feel like that's a tough bitch
That's a tough bitch
characteristic.
Yeah.
I was scared of her more than I was scared of my dad when the teachers would
Yes.
call home.
Yep.
So that makes her a tough bitch.
Yeah.
I totally took her out of her sales, though, when she used to, moms were big on the slapping your ass when you were, what do they call that?
Yeah. Spanking?
Spanking. They
Yeah.
were big into spanking.
Did you just want to hear me say that, dude? What, are you going to clip that one and listen to that at your ASMR, you freak?
No. So, like, she was big into spanking. Then I turned like 6, and I started laughing when she would spank me, and it totally just neutralized her technique. So
Yeah.
then she just did the get the nails done, finger point. right from your
Yeah.
right 2 inches from your eyeball.
That's
Didn't know if
spooky
your
one.
eyeball was going to, she's going to poke you in the eye or not.
Your poor mom just spanking you, and just one day you just somehow make it oddly sexual.
I just
feel
turned on her, and I fucking started
you.
laughing about it. Thank you. Can I have another? And she was
Wait.
like, this is over.
Tell that story. What was that like? Where the first time you gave a couple gigs, was it when you found out that your mom ain't shit and she's not that strong? Because
Yeah.
I had that in my life.
Yeah, and then
Well,
and then Dad, and then she calls in the bullpen, and here comes Dad. Yeah,
closer's here.
Yep. Oh, shit.
And he is.
He's got a four-seamer.
Yeah, he
And
hasn't had a hit in years.
He's got a cutter that you cannot bat around.
So you left. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
it's
so
hilarious.
focused on this. Yeah.
I actually remember where I was. I got a call home from school. I was probably like 7 or 8. I was probably like 6 or 7, honestly. Yeah. I guess I didn't share the blocks well that day or something like that, or I was acting up in class.
Somebody's trying to grab your head, you're saying?
Yeah, I was a class clown.
Blockhead.
That's very mean. Strong jaw.
You called my hair wispy last week, so I've been thinking about that.
Dude, just because I look like the Rock in Bowser's Castle doesn't mean you can just come at me all the time. Go ahead.
Sorry, dude, you're a handsome guy.
So I guess I got a call home from school, or I got a bad report card or something like that, and was just like, up to the room.
Yeah.
My sister was a big she had a potty mouth.
Right.
She was a big soap in the mouth guy. Gal.
Really?
Oh yeah. My sister talked like a goddamn sailor.
And she got the soap in the mouth often?
Oh yeah, all the time. My sister would have been canceled in 6th grade when she called the gym teacher a homophobic slur that you should not be calling people nowadays.
Really? Of course the gym teacher, I'm assuming it's a woman.
No, it was a guy. And you know what? She had a valid she was valid on it,
Okay, your words, not mine.
She let's just say we were young, but we all thought what she was saying. She was just brave enough to say it.
Dude, what kind of lunacy carnival did you grow up? Your sister's got soap in the mouth. She's calling people slurs. You're getting spanked and giggling about it. What the hell was this homestead like?
Bunch of freaks.
Bunch of freaks.
We were a bunch of freaks.
But so your sister gets in trouble, you get in trouble, you get sent home, your mom finds out what's going up. She sends you up to the room for
Send you
spanking.
up to the room. I'll be there in 5 minutes, which is the worst because like you sit and you just stir and you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna get the shit.
What is she slipping into something more comfortable? All right, I'm done. Sorry.
I'm just so happy that like the spoon like became out of touch.
Yeah.
Cause like my dad told stories about like how like his mom used to fucking just break wooden spoons over his ass or over his head and stuff. And it's like, thank God nuns got out of Catholic school, and thank God wooden spoons became the way of the dodo bird.
Seriously. Yeah. Those were a nightmare. I got a wooden spoon once or twice.
Were you ever had corporal punishment growing up?
What's that?
Well, I mean, it's like a joke. It's like military is like corporal punishment where they like yell at you and hit you and stuff.
I used to do a lot of punishing myself, and my parents would let me do it. Like a lot of times I would be angry.
So you're masochist.
Well, it wasn't
child masochist.
I was just bad at trying to prove a point. That's why I'd be the worst protester.
10 years later, you would have been a YouTube sensation.
Yeah, true.
Like,
true.
You'd be on the dark web. Like you'd be like the child masochist influencer.
Well, you grew up in some carnival house, and I was in like a dominatrix house, but I was the only dominatrix and the client.
You're just pouring hot wax on yourself when you get a bad report card.
That's what I did. When my mom would
Twisting your
spank me,
nipples.
I'd ever pour hot wax on my back.
Like I got it. I got a D+ in social studies. Like White Goodman looking at a pizza in dodgeball.
Yeah, before my mom spanked me, I put a clamp on my balls.
You should do the choking game whenever you got a bad report card.
I was so bad, but my parents were
Once
smart.
again, we're at the Working Moms Conference.
Yes, of course. A lot of the women that came on the podcast were like, oh, let me check out the first couple of minutes. We're not normally like this. We're in rare form. This is the earliest any of us have woken up in the past 9 years.
It's true.
But
go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. I would punish myself. My parents would let me do it, where I would just like do acts of protest, where I'd be like, I'm gonna go stare. I would.
What are you, a fucking
I'm
Buddhist?
not having a single Cheez-It for the rest of the day. No, dude, I would go and like be angry, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go sit in this corner and stare at the wall, and they would just let me do it for like 35 minutes, and they're like, okay, you're losing this fight, brother.
You love timeouts.
I time out of myself.
You would just stare at a wall for 35 minutes.
Men at Work podcast. Follow it.
Follow it.
Yeah.
Staring at a wall for 35 minutes by yourself, that's borderline psychosis.
Yeah, it was bad, but then I would always, finish it off with a bang and shit myself and be like, nah, you got to deal with that. Truly, that was like my go-to move for a while.
That was your protest? Shitting yourself?
Stare at the wall. I know nobody was coming, and then I'd be like, I bet you if I shit, you'll have to make it happen.
No way.
Eventually, it'll waft over to their nose, and it becomes their problem, too.
How old were you when you were shitting yourself?
22? No, I was I was probably like 3 or 4.
You were willingly shitting yourself while you were staring at a wall for 35 straight minutes.
Yeah, that's what I did, dude. I had no other. I'm not a smart guy. You're very aware of this.
Insane.
What else can you do?
At 3 or 4, I feel like you have the cognitive ability to not do that.
I think you're giving.
That's an insane protest.
I think you're giving 3 and 4 year olds way too much credit.
Like some kids stamp their feet. You were shitting your pants.
Shitting my pants hard too.
With, I'm guessing, no diaper.
No diaper. And all you would see was the back. So normally you could see the face getting red and everything. They would just see gyrations.
You were a red-faced kid?
Yeah.
Dude, I hated you.
Why?
Dude, the red-faced kids were so weird because they would just cry or they would make themselves red in the face until they either passed out
Yeah.
or, like, had an aneurysm.
Yeah, that was me. I mean, I had no other. There was nothing else I could do. I had a gelatinous body. I was tall and uncoordinated. So the only thing I had was defecation, no breathing.
Dude, your Spider-Man undies literally just had poop stains all over them, skid marks.
I think I was rocking diapers till I was like 5 or 6.
No, you weren't.
I'm
You're a
alright.
liar.
I'm gonna start getting like documented evidence to
Dude,
provide you.
I need to know if you were rocking diapers. I thought I was crazy because I peed the bed till I was 9. Rocking diapers at 5
Ooh,
to 6.
that's
is-
weird.
No, it's not.
No,
No, it's
that's
not.
weird.
No, it's not. I'll back that up.
No, that's
a
weird.
lot of people pissed the bed. Okay, I was a sleepover nightmare.
Yeah, of course.
It was a nightmare to have sleepovers, but you know what? I became better for it. You know what? The good thing about pissing, about peeing your bed when you're up to your 9,
What's that?
you don't ever really pee in college when you have too much to drink. I don't know how it's correlated, but that's what I'm thinking. Because I had a lot
Okay.
of buddies that like were the kings of the sleepover because they didn't piss their shorts.
Sure.
But guess who pissed themselves during college after 17 Bud Lights?
That's kind of fair. I did
Yeah.
actually not pee myself as a kid and did it in college quite a bit.
Thank you. I think it's correlated.
Maybe. I mean, were you drinking a lot as a kid?
Had a couple Mike's Hards.
Had some BLs?
Yeah.
I feel
little
that.
apple juice.
Let me ask you, and
A little Martinelli's.
This might just be something that we don't even use remotely, but my buddy made to me, me and my friends I think are decent at saying what somebody looks like. My buddy said, you know Mo Wagner on the
Yes,
on
Mo
the
Wagner.
Magic? Mo Wagner. Not Franz, his younger brother, Mo, the blonde hair.
Uglier one.
My buddy said that he looks like when he was a kid, he was the type that always had the red Gatorade ring around his mouth.
Oh my god.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it wasn't always the red Gatorade. Some kids just had really chapped lips because they couldn't just stop licking their lips.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But there were the red Gatorade kids that were always a nightmare, dude.
They were a nightmare.
But they were always short and they were always really fast. I don't know if any of this is landing, but it is.
They
how I feel.
were always the point guard, and when they have the ball stolen from them, they would have a fucking tantrum. It's
Yep.
like, get on defense, dude. You just gave up the ball.
Yep.
Go push that kid into the stanchion.
I am so happy. This is exactly the exact person I'm picturing. All right, cool. This one's landed then. We'll take that.
First name?
Linda.
Linda, how are you? I'm Kyle. This is Matt.
Nice to meet you guys.
And what do you do for a living?
I am an entrepreneur
Nice.
of a new entrepreneur.
New
A
entrepreneur.
new entrepreneur.
Congratulations.
So
What are you an entrepreneur of?
A company called Bite Brave.
Got it. Tell us
And
about
we
it.
are a food allergy prevention company for infants.
Got
Wow.
I have 2 little boys.
it. Okay.
I've had to thank you. I've
What
had
allergies?
To,
Nut allergies?
Nut, sesame,
That's the number
Always.
one.
all of them.
Oh,
Sesame is a very underrated one. There was actually a guy that played for the Sixers that found out he had a sesame allergy for the first time when he was like 19, 20 years old.
Mhm.
Had an awful reaction. It almost like killed him.
When he was playing, right?
When he
I
was
think
playing,
I
yeah.
heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. He was never the
Absolutely
same.
terrible. So I've had to save my Benji's life 4 times already.
Oh my goodness.
So you
Damn.
can imagine, Kyle. Like,
What's he
how-
getting into the sesame seed?
Just
in
you
the
don't
cabinet?
know if they're allergic to it, right?
Got it.
And then when you find out, it's too late.
Damn.
But then what people don't know and parents don't know is you can actually prevent it from ever happening.
Oh.
And that's the mission for Bite Brave is,
Is that-
being able to help families.
Got it.
Is
on
that
one.
testing or what does that look
No,
like to
it's just you just literally feed the baby food.
Yeah.
and you
I'm a
feed
penicillin boy,
them.
and we
Yeah.
found out I was allergic to penicillin because I got sick. They gave me penicillin, and then I got sicker.
Yeah.
So you can't have penicillin.
Can't have penicillin. Don't even
Same
know
here.
what it's like.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
You a penicillin
too?
guy?
Yeah.
Shit.
When I was a little kid, I went to we were at a
Look at that,
diner.
it brought you two together.
Yeah, our allergies
Yeah.
brought us together. Yeah, I was at a diner one time as a kid, and they were like, "Does anybody have any allergies?" And I was like, "Penicillin." They're like, "That's not even what we mean." Yeah, but so your company, is that part of finding out what the allergies are, or ways to prevent it with certain types of food? Like, tell us
Ways
about
to
it.
prevent. So
Okay.
there's a clinical trial done in 2015 that essentially prevented food allergies from ever happening. And if you essentially introduce the allergen in the 4 to 6 month window, and you do it multiple times a week, you do it within a specific dose, 80% chance of never getting the food allergy.
Wow.
Which
Really?
and then essentially all the guidelines changed, but by then it was really too late, because back in 2000, doctors were saying don't give it to the baby until 1, 2, 3 years of age. You know, what I want to do is educate families on how to do it. Number one, don't be scared to do it, right? Like, treat it as food. It's not something that's going to really harm your baby, and there's just so much fear tied to like introducing allergens, which, you know, I really want to help these moms and these families work through, is just let the baby eat.
Right.
Let them eat what they are meant to eat. You know, give it to them as early and as often as you can to prevent the food allergies.
Wow.
Are you pro or anti peanut butter table at lunch?
I am pro.
Yes.
Okay.
I am pro, and
So-
it's because it's scary,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, it's like the children know that they're being excluded. Like, my 6-year-old is like, I don't want to. You know, why can't I have that? Why can't I sit with my friends? Why can't I do this? As a mother, it's so hard to explain that.
So we actually talked to somebody, and they were growing up, and they said, we went to Catholic school, so like they had a peanut butter allergy table at Catholic school, but public school they never had it. They just mixed them in with the normies, which is crazy to think about. Someone has a peanut butter and jelly, all of a sudden, little Jimmy's in the hospital and stuff.
I know.
So are they starting to bring the peanut butter table to public schools? Do you know this off the top of your head? Or?
They do. They are, and I think there's two sides to that, right? Like. It's either you put them together and mix them with the other children and make essentially educate them and broaden that awareness of, like, Benji, for example, my child has a peanut allergy.
That's a sick name, by the way.
Benji's awesome. Yeah,
Benji's
that's
great.
Benji
he
rules.
says his name is Benjamin,
No.
or he doesn't realize his name is Benjamin. I'm like, no, your full name is Benjamin, but we call you Benji.
Yeah. Dude, when he grows up, he's going to be in high school, just be like,
and he's the
I'm
first
Benji.
Chindian athlete you will ever meet, by the way. He's
Chindian?
Chinese and Indian, yeah.
Chinese and Indian.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So he plays travel
How sick
sports,
is that?
plays travel baseball, plays travel soccer.
Holy
so
shit.
just you wait. He's going to be the first Chindian
A
athlete.
Chindian. I've never
Ever.
heard
That
Chindian
is
before.
pretty stunning, because I
love
think
that.
China and India make up 25% of the global
We do.
population.
We do.
You'd think of more of a
Yeah,
would be the first. That's
we do.
cool.
We do.
Very nice.
Chindian's cool as hell. Like a
But-
young Tiger Woods.
Yeah. He's like a young
Like the new age tiger.
I mean, not to neglect my older one, Isaiah.
What's his
right?
name? Isaiah?
Isaiah?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool name, too.
Nice biblical name, of
Yeah.
course.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Nice. Is it kind of crazy, and this will be the last one, I know you got to get in there. Is it kind of crazy that, like, we grew up in, like, a society where, like, I didn't know what gluten was until I probably got to college.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know gluten allergy was real.
Yeah.
I know people are going to question this, like, were they always there, or did we kind of develop them in a way? Like, I know there was never soy, there was never gluten, there was never
I
an
know.
almond milk allergy.
No, there's multiple factors to it. I'm not going to get all nerdy on you guys, but
Give us
I
a
mean,
little bit.
over
Little bit nerd.
time,
We like,
right?
we like our listeners to learn something on
I'm
this
a geek.
podcast.
But over time, due to modernization, due to the way that we clean everything, like, we are not exposing ourselves to the bacteria.
So we should play.
that
We should be licking more dirt as a child.
Absolutely.
All right,
We
eat
should be
more dirt.
Like, when you drop that pacifier, don't clean it off. Clean it off with your own saliva as a mom or as a dad,
Right.
and then give it back to your baby.
Really?
Yeah.
But, like, we have to expose ourselves. I was born in China, right?
Sure.
So, like,
You
I
expose
wasn't
yourself,
wearing
yeah.
a diaper.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
there was no diaper. It was just a literally, like, hole in your.
My goodness.
That was the kind of environment that I grew up in.
I
You
love
know
Sure.
what I mean?
Sure.
But, like, that was the exposure to the bacteria that you need as a child.
Right.
Children in Finland are getting dirt put in their playgrounds from the forest in Finland to get that exposure to the
Really?
bacteria.
Yeah.
So bacteria is one, hard water is another, right? It
What's hard water?
essentially just like urban environments. The water is just so hard right now. It's harder on our skin,
Got it.
which causes eczema and
Okay,
which
got it.
causes your skin to be broken, right?
Got it.
And what happens is the allergen travels to the skin and your immune system hyperreacts.
Yeah.
And it's scared. It just like essentially is like red flags, like blaring, saying like when you ingest it, it thinks that it's a toxin or it thinks that it's going to react to
Also,
Wow.
why the bagels are so good.
the hard water. I agree. I agree.
what
So
they
I guess that's the trade-off then. Fine.
I mean,
All right,
seems
fine.
that you-
Fine. I mean,
But
my skin's
goal
cracking and
over
everything, but I
here-
got great bagels.
My goal over here is to prevent food allergies in children.
Yes.
You know,
so
on top,
crazy.
you know.
That's awesome.
Delicious bagels is second.
Oh, I'm excited to hear
Dude,
that.
you should. Here's a free one for you. Remember the Got Milk marketing campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Got Dirt.
Yeah, I love
Just
it.
start putting dirt
I know.
around kids' lips.
Genius,
agree.
dude.
Yeah.
I love
You're
it.
Mad Men.
Dude,
That's what you are.
Get
I love it.
get the top 50 baby influencers on YouTube and TikTok and start putting get the dirt around the old mouth.
Let's make it happen.
I love it.
Make it happen.
Okay. Well, this is great. No, thank you so
Cheers.
much for
Linda,
coming on. This was very
I appreciate you listening to our dumb examples and our
Yes.
dumb conversation.
Any socials or anything you want to throw out there? Or? You just yeah. Where do you
Oh,
go?
Bite Brave.
Bite Brave. Okay, got it. Bite Brave. Yes.
Bite Brave. Follow it.
Follow it.
Now. Look at that. Good old boy.
That's a good boy.
That's a good old boy.
That's a great boy.
That's a good old boy.
And he's got a dog too. Come on, dude.
Let's go.
Hack comedy.
Well, I was VP of Finance when my son was born, and then shit got real after my son was born. Can we curse on
Yeah,
air?
absolutely.
Okay. And long story short, I told my husband, I was like, there's got to be a better way. So I left. So I say fractional CFO, but it's bookkeeping, accounting. It's just I'm not employed. I'm an independent contractor.
it.
I do their books, and I come and go. My second business is the Motherhood Village, which is why I'm here today. I'm representing at the Working Moms Conference.
Got it. All right.
Very
Talk to
nice.
us a little bit about the Motherhood Village real quick.
In a nutshell, it's an organization that supports moms' mental health. For those moms that are stuck in the middle, I think a lot of times when we hear of like postpartum depression and anxiety, we think of like the worst case scenario, psychosis, and there is that. But then there are moms in the middle, like someone like me who's type A personality. I worked in very high stress level organizations, so I was always on the go, and my son came and I was rocked. But it wasn't really postpartum depression. I wasn't depressed.
Right.
I had a lot of anxiety, and I was
Yeah.
like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I wanted to create a space for those moms. So long story short, I have a podcast, we do workshops, we do support groups. I have my own summit that's every year, and it all focuses on moms' mental health.
Sweet. I love that.
That's very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So what when your son was born? What was going on? You're kind of just like, shit. This.
How long
this-
do we have now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
What's
Was it
this-
like was it more work and stuff? Like you're like I just am not in love with like what I do because I know like, we don't have kids and everything, but like I feel like we've both found that at least in my work life I was like, yeah, I got a good paying job and everything. And when you're like coming out of college, you're like, all I need is that good paying job and I'll be set up for life and
For
everything.
sure.
But then you go in every Monday and you cross that threshold and you're like, God, I can't believe I'm back here.
Yeah.
So two things, because I know for time. So on a high level version, the first was, career identity. I have been working since I'm 14, built my accounting degree up, my accounting career up. And then I was like, whoa. I kept saying, I'm going to come back to work, yes. And then my little son comes in, I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to go back to
Yeah.
work. And what does that mean when I've worked my whole career for this? It
Right.
literally was like a shift change for someone who's very hardworking. And then number two, I think a lot of times, especially, again, the type A, like someone like me, I was a controller, VP of Finance. When you think of those positions, what do you think of those positions? Very rigid. There's input, output. Well, when you become a mom, shit is a shit show.
Yeah.
You could read all the parenting books and they can tell you to do this for your kid, and your kid can come out like, fuck that, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We have this perception of what it is. So that was my thing. And then just the anxiety of like, I thought people were going to judge me. I was breastfeeding and just all of those things mentally. And just very isolated and overwhelming, and I just wasn't expecting that. And number three is how it affects your partner. I had listened to something recently that said you don't realize how much you miss your partner after your kids are born. And I mean, my husband and I did it the right way on paper. We're both
Yeah.
educated, great jobs, dated 5 years before having kids.
Yeah.
And my son came, and we were like, F you, what does that mean? Can you imagine that transition, though, to
Yeah.
go from your like lovey-dovey, now you're like, I can't stand you.
Yeah.
That's massive. And
Yeah.
I felt
Damn,
like
does
we
that
didn't
happen?
talk about it. Can. Not everyone's experience.
I feel like it
but,
could, though.
But a lot of moms that I talk to, it's real. We had to have a lot of conversation. He had to have a lot of patience and understanding that I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on up here, but you're breathing right now. Like, it's just not, it's
You're
not
just
working.
breathing
for
too
me.
loud. Yeah.
You're breathing too
Yeah,
loud.
you're chewing too
Which,
loud.
which I will
Yeah.
say just real quick if I interject. A lot of people say that the whole you're breathing too loud. It means you're being annoying. Sometimes people breathe and are too goddamn loud. It's unbelievable.
Yes. But in this case, he really was so sweet in doing like, he really, yes. He
Look, you
does.
could be sweet, caring, the best husband, and it sounds like you're breathing like an idle engine.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
that happens.
And
you know?
truthfully, if we look at the science, it's the oxycodone,
Oxycodone, yeah. I could use one of those.
You know, the
Give that to the
positive
breather.
feeling.
The loud
yes.
breather needs the oxycodone.
Where everything is going to my son, and
Yeah.
it's pulling away from my husband.
Sure.
So there's a lot of patience. And again, 5 years in, we traveled. I was like, oh, we got this. We're gonna be like, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
So that was all unexpected for me.
So what's the remedy to kind of get back to that
Yeah.
part in the relationship where there's less of that tension and more of just, the unity, working together, loving one another?
You have to have honest conversations. I mean, I had to tell him a lot of it came from, I think, my needs being unmet. I think we're all grown here. I think if someone lashes out on someone, if you're lashing out even with your boys, if you're lashing out at work, you're projecting on them, but it's not really them. There's something going on with you. So my needs were being unmet. I wasn't able to say, I need you to do this, or I need this from you, or I'm struggling with this. Thankfully, I have a lot of self-awareness. I had my son at 35, so I was older.
Yeah.
So that had the mental awareness to say, okay, it's not you, but we need to fix something. So we
Right.
had to have a lot of conversations. And honestly, my husband had to be patient, and I'm very thankful for that he's also a grown man to accept that and not take it personally.
Yeah.
So a lot of conversation, a lot of patience. And to the moms out there, ask for help. And for the men out there who might be experiencing this, ask for help. Ask your wife, your partner, how can I support you right now? I feel like you're going through this. Where what's the disconnect here? How can I help? Don't take it personally, because more than likely it's not you. It's everything else that's going on in their brain.
Sure.
I love how tough it was for you, and then you go and you become an independent contractor, where I feel like it has to
Yes.
be even more.
It's
insane
even
to,
more stress.
To,
You're
start your own business and be like, well, I gotta go get these clients now.
Yeah.
It's so it's so true. But that's, I think, so I'm originally from the Bronx, raised in Florida.
Oh, okay.
And I'm
I
Puerto
can see
Rican
it.
and
Yeah.
Sicilian, so kind of crazy, okay. Like kind of in the sense of like you just figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's you just kind of grind and figure it out. That's how I was raised.
Nicky from the block.
Nicky from the block. So because of that, you just kind of figured out, and it wasn't serving me. Like I had to keep going into work. I mean, granted, my son was almost 3 years into it, so we, kind of found some normalcy. But you're right. It was difficult, but I knew it was the best choice because I was tired of having to beg for time off, or when COVID hit, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm busting my butt here, and I have to beg for time off to go take care of my kid. Fuck you. No, I'll do this shit on my own because I know I can.
Sure.
And that's that was more important to me, to be able to have that freedom to spend with my son.
Such a Nicky from the block attitude. I
Yeah,
love that.
like,
true
F
Nicky.
you,
New
I do it
York,
myself.
New York had to just define you in terms of how
But I
you're
left when I
doing
was
it.
4.
Oh,
But then you went to Florida.
But then I went to
The
Florida.
New York of the South.
But remember, this is that is so true. There's so many New Yorkers. But I was just raised in a household, and I'm sure are you guys from Philly?
we're at the surrounding areas.
Okay, but I say all that because I think the Northeast, it's embedded in you.
Yeah,
like the hand. Even people are like, oh, you're from New York. I'm like, I'm really not. I'm a Floridian. I'm a sunshine beach girl.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're raised in a household, Sicilian and Puerto Rican, it's hands, it's loud, it's a culture.
Yeah.
Being from up north.
Take the hoops out if I got to.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think there is just, from my experience, the Northeast has its own type of people. I think because we do deal with all the seasons. Like, we're exposed to happiness for 7 months a year. And then they're like, oh, you can't go outside or else it literally hurts. It's that cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that kind of does something to you as a person.
It
in
does.
My experience.
It's so funny because my husband and I talk about that. How are we going to raise our son, who's now in ideally where everyone moves to, South Florida?
Yeah.
Where when we look, my husband's from Brooklyn. We met in Florida, and all of his friends from Brooklyn, from the hood, they're all successful people.
Sure.
But some of his friends in Florida, they kind of still live at home. So I'm like, I wonder if it's something to your point. There's a grind being from the Northeast.
Yes.
You're we got to figure this out. We got to do it. But from Florida, it's what are you aspiring to?
Yeah.
So we're how do we put our grind and work ethic into our son to not get complacent? Oh, well, I'm in Florida, so,
Right.
I'm here type of thing. So to your point, being from the Northeast, you get a certain kind of bravado. That
I think
comes
so.
with it.
I don't think I'd ever get anything done in a California or New York where
That's
everything's
what I
just
mean.
all
Yeah.
warm and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're 11 years old and you're down south in Florida and you see that there's a dude who drinks from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and he just sits on the beach, you're like, I'm not getting a job, dude.
That's my whole point. But what if you're in the East Coast and you're okay, it's winter, I got to get out
I got to
of
get
this
the heat
shit.
on, yeah. I got to turn the heat on.
For sure.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
hopping
you for
on.
having me.
Have fun
Yes.
today.
Yeah,
Thank
please,
you.
yeah.
And enjoy it.
Thank you, guys, and good luck with podcasting.
Thank you.
You too, yeah,
This is-
absolutely.
thank
This is
you.
great.
All
Nikki
right.
from the block. Go check
Yeah.
out
the Motherhood
Village.
Village. Yes, thank you, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. So we're at a working moms conference right now. If you didn't know, it's right behind us. But we always want to talk to some dudes too. Just grab the mic and put the headphones on. Sorry to be directing you like this. It's very
Yeah, make yourself comfortable.
Make
Whatever's
yourself
most comfortable.
comfortable.
Yeah, sorry.
And you know what? Talk to us. No, I'm
Please,
just kidding.
yeah.
What's your name, dude?
My name's Colin. What's
Colin. I'm Kyle.
Matt,
And this is
Matt.
Matt.
nice to meet you.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a painter.
Shit.
Yeah, no kid.
Houses?
No, fine art.
Okay. So real stuff.
Yeah.
Not to any of our painters out there, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, well.
You're more squiggly lines and less up and down.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
What have you painted before?
I'm working on 20 paintings right now.
Wow.
I'm about to be done with 7 of them today.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I
what's-
work on
Yeah, got
usually 16 to 30 paintings at a time.
Why?
So I don't have to sit and watch paint dry.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
Oh.
So I can just keep moving around and keep working throughout the day.
Do you ever talk to paint drying?
No, but there is an animism in the work.
What's
Sure.
an animism?
There's a spirit to it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So are you painting a ton at once? I'm sure there's like an artistic kind of notion to it, but is it also kind of like for the financial aspect of it where you are selling these and need to produce it, or what does that look like?
Yes and no. I mean, I think it makes each painting less precious, so I'm able to take more risks.
Sure.
And do bigger moves and kind of push it a little bit further. It also lends into the conceptual element of the work. I'm working on plastic with plastic acrylic.
Okay.
And so the paintings are completely plastic. And I'm making these sublime landscapes
Sure.
that are about ecological collapse. But there's a sincere irony in the fact
'Cause it's
that they're made
plastic.
out of plastic.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm aestheticizing our demise.
Sure. Okay.
And they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in this like sincere irony that's present in the work.
It's
So-
like a sunshine. It's a sunrise on post-apocalyptic planet.
Exactly.
How many
Yeah.
edibles
That's
do
it.
you do a day?
None.
Wow.
Yeah.
You came up with that all by yourself?
Well, it
Couple
evolved
stimulants?
over the course of 5 or 6 years during my MFA program at the San Francisco Art Institute.
Very
Damn.
nice. Wow. Very
Okay.
cool.
Shit.
So you obviously have like an aesthetic you're targeting for these particular pieces. Do
Yeah.
you have any thoughts about other artists that I've seen a lot on like social media with like the throwing the paint and it's the interpretive? And I know that might be a hack question, but like, what are your thoughts about that kind of art? Or do you have any thoughts? Is there any?
I do. I'll never knock anyone who's producing something.
Yeah.
So many people don't produce
Got it.
and just consume.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that producing anything is a radical act in and of itself.
Okay.
However, I'm a painter.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I think of that as painting. I think that could be art making. But for me, I think painting really is about having intentionality and directing it with a little more agency and control.
And
Okay.
and you
But
also,
hey, for each their own, you know.
Sure.
But,
and you also got to be quality over quantity in my mind.
sure.
Like we
yeah.
we could record 3,000 podcasts, but if they freaking suck and nobody watches them, who cares?
Sure, but some of the most famous artists burned 90% of their work
Really?
to keep the scarcity up. But you gotta produce every single day, and you can't be afraid to overproduce. You just need to know how to edit.
It's kind of like rappers, because
okay.
like every time a rapper dies, they always release a new album because
Sure.
rappers have like 1,000 songs. They
Yeah.
just only release 12 for their album and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what I do as a comedian. Every time I'm drunk and can't remember my set, I'll just do jokes that I wrote 15 years ago that I've never used. Yeah. It's really, that's the go-to.
Yeah, and you have that material to go back to reference, and then I think when you get good, it's like you just have a more developed eye, and you're able to discern what is quality and what's not.
Sure.
But I think that it's always valuable to do the work, and so that's the thing. I meet other people that are like, oh yeah, like I used to draw, but now I don't because everything I do is crap, and it's like, no, just keep doing it. Like
Yeah.
there's no other way to go about it, and like it takes time to like everything starts off poor. You
Sure.
gotta edit it and
Wow.
keep moving on to it. And
That's a good way to put it. The editing is actually bigger than you realize. The
The
more
fuck do you know about
stuff.
editing?
Nothing. It just seems bad when you have to do it. I feel bad. At least the guilt is in me while you're doing it.
No, it's all good.
But so your MFA, Masters of Fine Art, right?
Yes.
Is there did you have a grander project that you had to build to for the Masters, or was it like smaller stuff throughout? Like what did that look like?
So I was doing a lot of painting, but I graduated 2020, and so I lost access to my studio.
No shit.
And I had to finish my thesis while sheltering in place. And so I had 6 weeks left of my program to reimagine my thesis project without access to any of the facilities that I had before.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just had to think about a whole new thing, and I started going on these neighborhood walks and taking photographs of like pretty everyday things, and then selecting areas in the photograph and deleting it and allowing Photoshop's algorithms to auto-populate that space.
Wow.
So I started doing this collaboration with
So you used
artificial
AI.
intelligence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry to step
And
on
then
that.
I started plugging in like language and my artist statements and poetry into like a really early chat GBT kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it pulled out like the craziest stuff because it was just not really on point.
Yeah.
Is that cheating?
No.
Okay.
No. And so then I edited what it gave me into like lines of poems, and then, but they were all about like, COVID and
Yeah.
like societal collapse and kind of like heavy stuff, but like,
It's it was the time you were dealing with.
yeah, it was the time I was dealing with it. And then that project I thought was very successful. It was really cool. And then it kind of informed the painting that I did after that. Once I was able to get back into a studio and get back to my paint. And
Now, this is what I've one more question about that. So
Sure.
obviously you're finishing up the degree during COVID,
Yeah.
and we're all in lockdown. This is obviously informing every aspect of our life at this point. And the art, I'm sure is inspired by COVID and the lockdown and things like that. But it's inspiring every other artist.
Yes.
So are you kind of like, well, this is hack at this point. I'm talking about, or I'm drawing, or doing the same thing that everybody else is, even though it's such a grand experience for all of us. Like, did you have to think about that at all?
I think it was such a historical time that, having content that was informed by it is not problematic, or, and in like 20 years, a lot of the artists won't have had that experience. So
True. Yeah.
you'll look back on this time and it's like, if you're still doing the exact same thing and your work wasn't affected by it, it's kind of strange.
Sure.
Yeah.
What period? So obviously Picasso had like his blue period and his red period. What period are you in? The ecological disaster period?
Yeah, I'm in my Anthropocene plasticity landscape period, but I think that'll shift.
You
at
just
some
made that
point.
up. That was a made
That's
up
the
word.
coolest word of all
That was
time.
the most made up thing I've ever heard.
And that period might close. It's shifting. It's changed over the past 5 years. Because it's actually like the antithesis of what my work was before my MFA program. I was doing like eco-masculine earth magic.
Again,
runes.
another phrase you just
Eco-masculine
made up,
earth
magic.
magic. What's that look
Runes.
like? Yeah.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Nah, like they were like almost looked like hieroglyphs, super flat drawings, meticulous, detailed. I would spend like 80 hours on each one.
Yeah.
Why don't you become a tattoo artist?
Well, all my tattoos I drew.
Yeah, that's a hieroglyph.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
That's a hieroglyph?
Kind of like this kind of style, like this, like flatness.
That looks like a hieroglyph?
That looks sick. Yeah.
That's sick.
So anyway,
Sweet, dude.
King Tut.
Yeah. So it's kind of the opposite of what I'm doing now. That I'm, instead of working 80 hours and just doing tiny little dots on everything, it's like I'm working across all of these substrates and working on 20 paintings at a time.
What is so obviously we have like our Impressionism era and we have our other eras and stuff. What's the era?
Just can only name
only
one.
think of one Impressionism.
Sure.
What's the era that we're in right now?
I mean, it's hard to define because there's so many people doing so many things, but I think that the big trend has been figuration for the past 10 years.
What's
Like just bodies,
Okay.
figurative things that are not abstract art.
Okay.
And I think that there was like a large trend of like faux naivety where people were painting like children on purpose.
Yes.
And that was pretty hot for a while. And then now it's gone into like kind of like doing figurative painting that has like kind of wild color palettes with cool like bright underpaintings. But I think that's shifting too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next.
Yeah. Probably a dumb, bad question that won't make any sense. But I thought about it the other day. So you brought up the term faux naivety.
Yeah.
And that there was like for an era, I noticed that on like a lot of like skate decks. Like skateboarding companies had a lot of that on their skate decks of like, it looked like a little kid went down there and held the pencil like this and drew something.
Yeah.
When you're looking at that, obviously on first glance, it looks like, why would this be art? It looks like a kid did this. But there's like an understood irony between the artist and the person looking at it that it represents something greater than that. If somebody doesn't perceive that, there's a way that I want to get to this.
You
like
two are on a wavelength that I am not even riding on right now.
the other day, I wore a camo trucker hat, and my sister said she didn't like the hat, and I said, "Well, I'm wearing it in a way where the irony actually goes past white trash and it's back to something cool."
Right.
Just
And
say you're wearing a
does
shitty
that-
hat.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did do that too. But does that make any sense? Am I saying anything that has any?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that you can see when someone does it well still,
Okay. All right.
So like even if like there's faux naivety and then there's naivety.
Mm-hmm.
And to have the faux, like you actually have to be informed and know how to, do it and you have to have practiced it, right?
Okay, that's fair. For how bad my question was, that's a perfectly great answer. So I'll accept that absolutely.
Dude, I just got a contact high talking in between you two.
Yeah, I almost passed out asking that question.
This is insane. I just don't think I'm as ironic enough or care enough about art to really get on the same wavelength of this conversation. You explaining that hat was insane.
I'm still in my head. It still makes sense.
Are you still rocking that hat?
No, I stopped wearing it because my sister's so mean.
Dude, your phone naivety sucks. Where can people follow you? I'm sure you got Instagram
Yeah,
or
for
something.
sure.
Yeah.
So I guess Instagram at COLLINMCEACHRAN art. I know it's a lot.
Colin
McCreacher?
McEachran.
McEachran. McReacher. I don't know.
Cool.
I was going to say McMeechin, so
Okay.
we weren't too far off.
Pretty close.
Damn. So obviously you have your highs and your highs, and then I'm sure there's been some lows in painting. Anything you do creative, you definitely go through mentally or physically or low and stuff.
For sure.
When you're at your lowest point, do you ever think about cutting your ear off?
Well, it was during COVID, so I, spent all this money to get my MFA, and usually you have this large launch into the art world, and you have this giant vernissage show, and everyone in the industry comes to see the new, fresh talent graduating, and mine was canceled.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to show all the work, and I had made so much work over the course of those 2 years. To not show it was, devastating.
But you kept your ear.
But I kept my ear,
Nice.
and I just kept doing it.
Sweet.
Cool, guys.
Well, thanks for
Yeah, man.
thanks
Thanks
for
for
hopping
hanging
on.
out.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for teaching me about art.
This is very cool, dude.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's called Men at Work Pod. He has
He's
all
got a
the
card? Cool.
Yeah, he's got all the socials. No, we don't have cards. We probably should get those
I
things.
should get cards, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get cards. Good
We'll
call.
do.
Well, have fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
I wish I had more art prowess.
Yeah, I mean, you could see what it looks like when you think you have it and you try to have a conversation with a dude who's clearly good at it. And I'm like, so when people scribble, is that ironic? Do you think that's cool? Do you approve of what I'm trying to say to you right now?
I literally had nothing to talk about with that guy. I'm so uncultured. It's insane.
I disagree. I thought you were. I'm
I
more
asked him if he
fascinated.
cut off his ear, Matt.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So what's your first name?
Cherie,
Cherie.
yes.
Nice to meet you. What do you do for a living?
I actually have a business. It's called Poison Paper.
Poison paper. I'm interested in it now.
Yes, it is a stationery company, and it is in support of supporting women
Okay.
and mothers.
Wow.
Yeah, so I develop products that a mother can use. It's just about being able to save time.
Mhm.
Because as a mom, you wear so many hats and you're doing so many things, soccer mom, football mom, whatever it is you're doing. And so I just want to make life easier for you. I'm a mom, so I know what it's like.
Mhm.
So pretty much it's making products that you can actually use in everyday life, not like something that can just sit on the shelf,
Mm-hmm.
but pretty much like something that you can just, if you need to write your to-do list, put it on your fridge, your grocery list, or, something you could carry around in your purse, just pretty much, and inspirational products as well.
Got it.
Something just like to keep you going when you look down, you see maybe just a short little message to, that keeps you motivated. You might be having a bad day or
Yeah.
something. You
Yeah.
just never know,
Yeah.
And so you see something that says, smile, or like you're worth it, like keep going,
Don't forget the lunch meat.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
That'd be a
about
good one.
Yeah, it would be.
Because I go to the grocery store all the time.
Oh, what about
I
this
forget
one?
so much stuff.
Yeah.
Don't forget the milk,
Don't forget the milk.
Forget the milk.
bread.
Bread.
Mimosa.
That's overrated, right? Every time we have a little inch of snow, it's like, get the milk, get the bread. It's
And
like,
eggs.
Yeah.
no, get the
Eggs.
get
Milk.
the DiGiorno.
If you notice, if you go into the grocery store, whenever it's supposedly a big store,
Mhm.
if you look at the eggs, the bread, and the milk, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's gone every time. I'm like, so are you eating is milk,
Yeah.
eggs,
We got French toast.
and bread?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just eating grilled cheese all day,
Yeah.
or like an egg sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
We're getting an inch and a half of snow. You'll be okay.
I hate to say it. As somebody who doesn't cook, I thought that was everything you need for every meal of all time. I thought you could make a steak with that. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought my to-do
Yeah.
list is usually DoorDash, Dash Pass.
Yeah.
And then those
Yeah.
are kind of...
his
I've never
his
used
fridge look like a
DoorDash.
cop. You've
You
never
guys- you
used
gotta get in
DoorDash?
there.
So listen, my friends, they're ordering things for their kids. They do DoorDash, Uber Eats,
Yeah.
and what's the other one?
Instacart.
So, wait a minute now. I do use Instacart.
All right, Instacart's
Okay.
sick.
Now we're talking.
Instacart is like my best friend.
Yeah, it's like DoorDash except for grocery stores.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And there were times I was cooking during the holiday season, and you always forget
Yeah.
something, and I'm like,
The lunch meat,
lunch meat
the eggs, the bread.
for the charcuterie board.
Charcuterie boards. I
think
love
I
charcuterie
think we
boards.
have to forget the lunch meat because of the listeria thing going on.
No, I
So
don't want to
maybe-
talk about that. All right, I'm a big
We're-
lunch
we're
meat
go-
guy.
We're gonna let that go.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let it rest. You guys
I
are
love
right.
cold
I'm sorry.
cuts and hoagies.
Didn't
I'm harboring too much
allergen
hatred
the
about
allergen
lunch
said who came on earlier? She said we got to eat more dirt because we don't have.
Well, maybe not what she said verbatim, but it's something along those
maybe
lines.
not
Yeah.
eat listeria, but we got to eat more dirt because our immune
Sure.
systems are a little sad right
Yeah,
now.
that's fair.
I think poison paper is great. I immediately caught
Yeah.
onto it. I latched onto it.
Right. So when I was throwing names out, I kind of sent them out to my friends, and they were like, we like to play on words, poison paper, like PP,
PP?
PP.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I kind of did a vote, and everybody kind of that had got the most votes.
You down with SPP? Cherie's poison paper.
Cherie's poison paper.
Well,
yeah,
CPP.
you know me.
Oh, you're
I'm-
Cherie
Oh, it's
C.
this.
You down with
okay.
CPP?
Yeah.
Is that Communist China?
I think it's China's Communist Party. Yeah, it's a good one, close.
I see why you went with poison paper. Yeah.
We do love poison paper.
Nice.
though.
Some pictures too.
That's so cool. So how long you been? What did you do before you became an entrepreneur?
So I still do have a full-time job.
What do you do?
I work for the federal government.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Government boy over here too.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
still, so I work my 9 to 5 that supports my 5 to 9, as
I
they
love it.
say.
Yeah, it's the move.
That's the move, right?
Yeah.
So I've been in business for a little under 2 years. So I'm still in the starter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm still at the very beginning, just figuring things out. I'm about to go through a relaunch to kind of just really just focus on who my target audience is, make my website pop a little more. Because
Yeah.
when people go to a website, even though they may want your product, but people are drawn about what they see, right?
Sure.
Got it.
So it has to catch the eye. So I'm working on that, making it just a little more, like so when you click on it, you're like, oh, well, what's next?
Yeah, for
You know?
sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
well,
there's
let's-
2 handsome bastards in February and March.
How about that?
Get a load of that.
Telling me about. So just
Sure.
that's what I'm working on, making it just a little bit more, the pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To catch people's
All
attention.
about the pop.
Any
It's all about the pop.
any storefront plans? Any like a physical location, or for now just
No,
keeping it?
not for right now.
Yeah.
But the goal is to do wholesale to get my products in stores.
Nice. I think that's the move.
That's
It
the move.
seems
So
like,
more
yeah.
so than having a storefront,
that.
it's more about getting into more like boutique
Yeah.
stores
Yeah.
because people shop really boutique stores now.
Yeah.
They really
tell my
do.
fiance about
Yeah,
it.
I'm stuck there every weekend
My
for
goodness.
9 hours a day. Yeah. and that's great, but
Right. So that's the goal to get into like more boutique stores.
Yeah.
And like those nice mom and pop shops because another small business supports another small business, and then into some of the bigger, stores as it goes along. But that's the plan, is to do more wholesale.
Yeah.
And to get it into those more boutique.
How does
stores.
someone? Because obviously, like Post-it notes.
Oh, I think I have to go now.
Oh, you got to go now.
Yeah, I have to go.
That's fine.
But it was nice talking
You
to you
paid for it. You better go
guys.
in there and
Yeah.
get as much as you can.
How about that? Thank you.
Thank
Listen,
you. Poison paper.
Poison paper. Check
Yes.
me out.
Be down with CPP. CPP. Be down with CPP. Yeah, you know me. So what's your first name?
Krista.
Krista. Yeah, I actually already knew that, but I just wanted to set out the listeners. You are running the Working Moms Conference. Well, at least you're the person I talked to the whole time.
Yeah, I'm the founder of the Working Mom Conference.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be in Philadelphia. This is my city, my stomping ground.
I love it.
I mean, they might not like me saying that because I'm from Jersey.
Well, that's
Oh,
fine.
it
He's
still
from
counts.
Jersey, too.
It
But,
still
you know.
counts.
Yeah. Are you
It's
South Jersey?
South Jersey,
You're
22
allowed.
minutes.
Same.
Delaware Valley. We're all in the Delaware Valley together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely love Philly. So this is the first time that we are here. Last year we were in DC.
Nice.
Wow.
So I'm really excited to have the mothers here, have you interview them. How did it go?
It went well.
Awesome.
We met a
Yeah.
lot of awesome mothers.
Yeah, they have super big communities. Over 70,000 working moms or just mothers in general
Wow.
come to their communities to just vent.
Yeah.
Relate.
Yeah, there's some venting.
That's what it
I
seems
would
like.
say,
Yeah. I enjoy
would
the
say there's some
venting.
venting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some venting, relate, some networking, some resources, some services. So
Yeah.
this is just like an awesome thing. They're just up there laughing.
So
talking
what made
about-
you want to start the Working Moms Conference?
Well, I'm a working mom.
Sure.
That's one.
That's fair.
And
I like that.
I'll do it. Yeah.
It'd be hilarious if you weren't.
Yeah.
that would be ironic.
Yeah.
And then two, I'm displaced. So I'm prior service, Army.
Oh,
So
thank you for your
then-
Thank you
service.
for your service.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for your support. So with that, I didn't have a village. So when you don't have a village, you don't have your parents to rely
Someone
on.
said, someone was Jennifer, I think, was talking about having a village because his sister just had a kid.
Oh yeah,
So-
it's super, super important.
Yeah.
So normally service members who don't build their own. So that's what I do. I'm building a village for other mothers and
Love
bringing other mom communities together just to make sure that they have something and to say, no, I might not have my family, but I have another mom with the same kid at the same age.
Sure.
Or I go to this class, Pilates class or whatever, and we can go together and then somebody else watch the kid. So that's really what it's about, is just bringing all those communities nationwide together so that we can see where you fit in.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. How long you been doing the Working Moms Conference?
This is our second annual, so not
Okay.
that long.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can grow and more people know about it. The mission is good. The need is definitely there
Yeah.
for working mothers to just find that balance between motherhood and careers. But not many people know about it. So when you reached out, that was like, bam,
I love it.
absolutely.
Yeah, you'd be surprised by how many people are like, "Don't come near my conference," which I actually do agree with.
We've gotten a lot of that.
I do.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We've gotten way more no's than yeses. It's you guys, and we have a furry convention next week.
So-
I mean, same. We're just practicing for the furry convention tomorrow
I
because it's
see,
basically the
I
same
see.
communities.
No, that's hilarious.
And
No,
if it
I
isn't.
don't. I don't see why. There are so many people that have different interests, and
Yeah.
and you may be able to reach someone or someone who could say, hey,
I listen to them, and I think you would like them. So the more we talk about it, the more moms we can reach.
Yeah. Any working moms out there, come to the Working Moms Conference in 2025.
Yeah.
Because I'm having a blast out here.
This has been a darn tootin' time. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what's the itinerary look like for the conference? So we have speakers, we have things like that. What else is on the agenda?
Yeah, so we have awesome, phenomenal speakers. Like I said, they have over 70,000 working moms that are in their communities. These are experts from tech experts to HR. She's an HR expert. Our keynote, the HR plug, she's awesome.
Nice.
So we have a really good lineup when it comes to speakers. And then after that, we have a Moms Only Happy Hour where we're just going to kick it.
Ooh.
Moms in Music is going to sponsor that and presenting some performances where moms are going to
sweet.
sing. We have open wine.
Yeah.
And then we have a speaker network.
Yeah.
We also have Mompreneur Marketplace where mompreneurs, they're moms and they're entrepreneurs and they're going to sell things. So you can come here to Wax and Wine today and tomorrow to just shop in the front store and do that. We also have a speaker panel to talk about beauty, confidence, and self-love because that's very important for women to feel beautiful and in their own sense of whatever that means. And then we have another keynote. So it's a packed Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Do that on purpose just to make sure that they are present and they have the best momcation they can.
Awesome.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
What's the wine budget on a mom conference, a working mom conference?
You know, it's unlimited. It's open.
I like that.
Yeah, that's very
it's
nice.
Open wine.
That's your selling point right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
ladies, come by, get some self-help, get some love and some care, meet some great working moms, and then we're going to get after
Yeah,
it.
and by the way, after the workshops, we're going to have some fun.
And
like
it's
that.
I've tried to drink with my mom and her friends before, and I ended up under the table, dude.
Yeah, it definitely happens like that. Last year, we were in D.C., and we had a packed program, too.
Nice.
And the moms were like, we're just going to head to the Lauryn Hill concert afterwards.
Oh,
and then
my
we're
God.
going to go to the club.
Love
I'm just
it.
like, okay.
Make a day of it.
That's
Why
what
not?
it's for.
Yeah.
Why not? You're on a mom
People, leave your kids at home, leave your husband at home, leave your significant other at home, and come to the Working Moms Conference and get after it. We'll go clubbing later.
Is there anything better than that? Sure.
Folks, come to the Working Moms Conference next year.
Yes.
Learn about yourself, learn about other people, work your core,
Make connections.
work your mind, and then have some wine, baby.
Yeah.
Have some wine, have some fun, make some connections. You'll see. You meet these mothers, and they can really hit you.
They're fun.
Or go towards the goals that you need. So.
I love it. Krista, thank you so much for
Yeah,
first
thank you
letting
very
us
much.
sit outside,
Yeah.
letting
Thank
us
you.
be
We
here.
appreciate
and then
it,
thanks
yeah.
for coming on.
No, thank you guys.
Appreciate
I hope
you.
to see you around.
This
Yeah.
was great.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Cool.
If I,
shitting and sniffing. That's fucking life over there.
that's good stuff. Yeah.
If aliens came down
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, the humans are picking up the animals' shit,
Yeah.
the animals run this joint.
Or it goes back to like the Roman times where they got so advanced that they got like tantrically.
How are you?
What's up?
Jennifer, how are you?
Perfect.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kyle.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Matt, great to meet you. How are you?
Sorry, you sit here, so it's a little bit of shade. So, what's your first name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. And what do you do for a living?
I am a therapist.
Therapist.
Yes.
What kind of therapy?
I tend to work with moms, new moms who are adjusting into motherhood.
Got it. How's that going?
It's going really well. A
Yeah.
lot of people need the service.
I'm guessing
for
you're a
her
mom
mental
yourself.
health. I am.
That'd be hilarious if you weren't a mom yourself.
Funny enough, I did provide services to moms before becoming a mom, but I didn't necessarily know the need until I actually became a mom.
Got it. So how'd your training change after you had a kid?
It's completely different, night and day.
Yeah.
The lived experience gives me, I think, added umph when it comes to the wisdom and the ability to like relate to my clients.
Did you refund the clients before that you when you didn't have it?
Come and see me again. I've doubled in service. Yeah, that's very nice.
But my rates have also gone up.
Yeah, of course.
It's actually true.
I like
I
that.
don't blame. Good move.
I like that.
Love
so,
to hear that.
How'd you get into that? Did you go to school for that, or did you kind of just fall into that? Like,
Fall into therapy?
yeah, I mean, you can fall into therapy, I guess, in terms of like client base, right? Or do you
Yeah.
have to like go to
Yeah,
school?
I've fallen to therapy many a times, but I've been the person paying.
I've fallen out, I've fallen in, fallen back
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess you could say I fell into it. I went to school to become a pediatrician, and then I was like, oh, I really don't like biology and all these courses that I'm taking.
I feel that.
And I felt that I was really just trying to fulfill my parents' dream.
Yeah.
Like first generation
Got it.
American. And so I found a psychology class, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I love learning about how people think and connecting the dots between past and present. And I'm naturally just a really good listener. And
Sweet.
so it just kind of made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out to me.
What's one thing that people should know about working moms?
Wow, it's a big question.
I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I found out, I was doing some research, shout out to me. Working moms are getting more jobs that are paying six figures. It's funny because men feel like they can apply for a job when they only have like 60% of the qualifications,
Yeah.
but women apply for the job when they feel like they have 100% of the qualifications, which
Yeah.
is such a man thing to do. Be like, I'll
got it.
I'll put some stucco up and everything. We'll put it together. You
Yeah,
know,
I
I
think
can't
that's-
do almost half the job, but
Yeah.
you know what? Screw it. Let's apply.
No, that's good information,
Thank you.
and it's very, very true.
Mhm.
I think one thing that I'm actually going to talk about today is how much, work ties into our mental health. Like being fulfilled and feeling like you're seen and valued as an employee, as a manager, as whatever role that you play, it really does spill into how you show up as a mom and how you show up for your family.
I'm assuming you were practicing during like the pandemic. How was Zoom therapy? Was that kind of tough to navigate, or?
No, I love it. That's
really?
actually what I do now.
Okay.
But I actually became a mom during the pandemic.
Oh,
And
what was that like?
that was the catalyst for the work that I do now. It
Yeah.
was really, really hard.
Yeah.
It was isolating, to
Yeah.
say the least. I had to deal with my own unresolved trauma. A lot of stuff just kind of came to the surface, and it was like, whoa, what is this?
Mhm.
And I used motherhood as a lens, like as a mirror, to just kind of confront all the things that otherwise we'd be able to just kind of function through. But I want to break generational patterns. I want to be an example for my daughter in terms of healing. And so that was the catalyst for starting my own maternal mental health private practice.
Okay.
How sick was it that you got to get rid of the rent payment too on your office?
Nice.
I like not driving more than anything.
Yeah,
dude.
Because
Yeah. Oh my
I
God,
live
yeah.
in Miami, and the
Oh, is that where you're
traffic
living?
would drive you crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many working moms are down in Miami?
Oh, I don't know the number, but
A lot?
I'm sure there's a lot of.
I feel like it's just single people living their
Really?
Yeah.
best life. I've never been to Miami. This is what I just assume. I've
Yeah.
seen Live. I've seen 11. I've seen all those
Yeah.
clubs and everything. Every time I
Yeah.
see it, it's people just going up on Sundays.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know what? I'm sure that is a portion of the people who live there. That's not my life. That's definitely not my reality.
Was that ever your life though?
I didn't work when I was during the first year of my daughter's life. I didn't work.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
You didn't? Okay.
No, I know that some people will prefer to just kind of be with their
Mm-hmm.
kids when they have babies, but it was more so out of necessity
Got it.
because COVID was new and all the things. But there's a big part of me that's fulfilled by the work that I do and by being able to contribute to society.
I feel that. I
Yeah.
feel that. I feel that hard. Are you on TikTok or do you ever go on TikTok?
I don't even have the app. No.
Do you have
Really?
Instagram?
No, I have Instagram.
Okay, so
yeah.
maybe you've seen it on Instagram. The tradwives.
No, what's
Have you
that?
seen tradwives?
Uh-uh.
They're traditional wives, like homemakers and stuff. They take care of the kids. They take care of the husband. They make food from scratch. They take care of the farm. There's a really big one called Ballerina Farmer.
Okay.
So I guess like would tradwives be in your certain clientele? We're talking like basically take yourself and move yourself back to like 1950s Americana.
Okay.
And where you're like,
Sounds like a nightmare.
yes, it does sound like, dude, this woman,
Sounds fucking awful.
she's got like a,
to each their own.
yeah, she's got like, see,
Yeah.
she's got like 9 million followers, but then she has to wear all these like old school like churning butter blouses
So is that
and
like
stuff.
religious?
Oh,
Like a
No, I don't
religious
even think.
space?
Well, I think they're probably a little bit of Christian and
Okay.
stuff, but it's like a huge influencer dynamic of tradwives. So like you think like
Oh,
you know
I'm
like
gonna
we're
look that
both.
up.
I have a fiance, he's got a girlfriend and stuff. So it's like it basically they're influencing other women that like would live in Miami, and these people live in like Wyoming. It's like
Yeah.
but they're like influence. It's like a whole new influencer dynamic and stuff. So I didn't know if the tradwives have made your way over
they
to therapists.
haven't, but I'm open.
I feel like they got a
You
lot of
know?
trauma.
I think they need the therapist. I think they need some help. Yeah.
Did you take care of 8 kids? You take care of some cows
Oh
and
my
stuff?
gosh,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
That's what's going
Dude,
on.
you got to look up Ballerina Farmer after this.
So it's TRAD wives.
TRADY, so
Okay.
traditional wives. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That could be a new demo.
I don't know. We'll see.
Once they get out of their like whole like trad wife.
I'm open.
So-
As long as you can identify that you have something to work through. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
nice open-ended way to put it. That's
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. Well, I think it's certainly an interesting dynamic you mentioned about the first year that you had your daughter, you weren't working and it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I think part of a parent, being a parent, at least in my perspective, because both my parents worked, was like seeing both of them kind of have to. Not that it's nice to see your parents have to work through stuff, but it does give you like even more of a respect to be like, there's my mom, she's out working, and she takes me to basketball and all this stuff. So I think, that demonstration of like, here's what it takes to be a useful person in somebody's life. It's kind of cool to see.
Wow. Yeah, and again, I don't knock anyone who chooses not to. Like, I love that for them. But for me in particular, I want my daughter to see that you can do it all
Love it.
if that's what you choose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No limitations.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, one more for you. Maddie just became an uncle.
Yes.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What advice would you have for his future working mom? Or not his future working sister, who is a mom?
Is she already working?
Yeah, she's a nurse.
Oh, she's a nurse. Okay. And so she's working like those long hours.
Yeah, there's like 312s type deal.
Yeah, that's tough. I would suggest that you have a village of people that you can count on, that you can. So even now, my daughter is at home, and like I was watching her on the monitor yesterday, and her uncle, my brother, was like reading to her before bed, and it just warmed my heart. So I think the advice is for her to just have a village of people that she can like truly rely on. And I don't think that we ask for help enough as moms. Sometimes we feel like we should be able to figure it all out. And then that's where you guys come in too. Just kind of step in and tell her, this is what I'm going to do, and not even leave too much wiggle room for her to have to figure it out. Because that's another thing. Like, let me figure out what I need to ask for help for. It's like a one more to do. So
Weaponized incompetence. I've read that one before. Is that a thing? Weaponized incompetence?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard about that one. That's why I stopped asking my girlfriend what stuff I should do.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
just step in.
It might be bad, but I'm just going to do it.
Just step in. Because moms that I talk to, a lot of them talk about mental gymnastics that they have to do constantly with the running to-do list. So for you to ask, what do you need me to do? It feels like
Another
more
task.
thing on the list.
Yeah.
So just step in.
I've noticed it. And you notice it for yourself too. Like you don't realize you're doing it to somebody, but the moment it happens to you, you're like, I don't know, I don't want to think about what I have to tell you to do right now. It's like,
it's like one more thing.
Right.
Yeah. So just the village. It's so important.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think your role in the village would be?
Maybe like dancer.
You'd be the jester.
Cool hangout kind of guy.
Jennifer, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on.
really, thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
We really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Great.
Great.
Thank you. And I
Thank
think
you.
you guys should pull back to get out of the sun. Yeah. So
What makes you say that?
I'm great.
Palest guys of all time.
Oh yeah, get a better picture. Hi, Jillian.
Hi.
Welcome to a podcast.
Hello. I've never done this before.
No, that'll be fine. Here, put the headphones on. We sound even better.
Yeah. We sing sometimes too.
Hello, Jillian.
God, that sounds completely different.
Isn't
I
that
know.
fun?
I know. Now you don't
love
have to
it.
hear the. That woman just took a Snapchat of us.
Oh my God, I love it.
Now you don't have to hear the Philly sounds of Philadelphia, and you still can hear them now.
It's really the most busy time the street's ever been.
Yes.
This is insane, dude.
It's like they knew you were going to be here.
I know.
And it's gone around the block, and now they're telling everyone to drive by.
Yeah,
We call it the cavalry, and
yeah, we're the town criers.
I know.
just
Yeah,
criers.
we just literally cry.
So, yeah.
If you don't
who are
watch
we
this
here with?
podcast.
Huh? Me?
Yes.
So I'm here kind of on my own to join the Working Mom Conference. I was
Love it.
kind of watching it because I am a working mom.
Okay.
I live in the South Jersey area, and I work in the construction wholesale industry.
Wow.
So I mainly came because I wanted to see the one speaker talk about moms working in a male-dominated industry, because that is what I do.
Now, would you consider yourself blue collar or white collar working in construction wholesale?
I would say blue collar.
Blue collar.
So
We have our
I
blue
am
collar
a-
babies.
Yeah,
Blue collar
100%.
baby. Yeah.
So I am the daughter of immigrants.
Oh.
I am the wife also of an immigrant
Wow.
who has grown up in the construction industry, who my husband's in it as well, and is also now raising 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And showing them that you actually have a better future and happiness working blue collar than going to a university and having all of that debt. And
That's big. That's
It's-
big right now.
That's a big
it
moment
is,
right
it
now.
is
TikTok.
massive.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw an NPR thing like 15 years ago that said in the next couple of decades, someone who goes for a tech industry will actually be better off financially and emotionally than those who go to a university coming out with crippling debt and also being one of 1,000 going for a business or a tech job.
Yeah.
And it'll get to the point where people who are plumbers or electricians or HVAC can more or less name your price because they're so few and far between, because it was almost looked down upon in the late 90s, early 2000s to go for that for a future.
And your boss will probably be a cyborg by then?
Your boss will be AI anyway. So
I know.
And look, it is true. I mean, somebody's got to build them. You can't
Yeah.
just have some dork drawing plans all the time.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to have blueprints with nobody to build the thing. So it kind of makes sense that we need
part.
to.
In construction right now, there is all of these people that went to school for the drawings and everything else. And yes, you do need engineers and architects and that. But if you don't have anyone to lay the foundation or build it,
You need the calloused hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got a lot of uncalloused people drawing the plans.
And that's it. And you get to that point, I'm in masonry, and there's these people that want their $2 million houses. Well, if you don't have someone to pour the concrete or to build it or to do any of the finishing, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you won't have anyone to actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad used to say, the world needs ditch diggers too. Well, guess what, Dad? Ditch diggers are going to be the ones running this country one day.
You know what? It is 100% true.
There are going to be 6-figure ditch diggers out there.
Unfortunately, the ditch diggers now are podcasters. So here we are, folks. Yeah, we're the new ditch digger. Yeah.
Sam, how are you? Do you want to be on? You can sit down and be on if you want.
Yeah, please.
Thanks for coming on.
Hi.
Are you a working mom as well?
Yeah.
All right. What do you do for a living?
I work with international nurses, and
Got
I'm
it.
in nursing school myself. So.
Congratulations.
How's
How's the international nurses? Like what countries are we talking?
All over.
Yeah.
Our biggest is the Philippines, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They have a overflow of nurses in the Philippines.
Did you know that?
No, I
The
didn't.
interesting thing about it is most Filipinos, their career goal for like everybody is nursing.
Really?
That's what you're taught from the get-go.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think a lot of Filipinos, the goal is to get to America, and they know that nursing is a big field they can do that with.
Interesting.
Sure. That makes sense.
You'll find a lot of the people working in like gas stations or grocery stores in the Philippines are also actually registered nurses.
Really?
But there just aren't enough jobs in the Philippines for them to work as nurses.
Wow.
So then they'll also do volunteer nursing. So they'll work as a nurse and not get paid because there just aren't enough paid jobs for them.
Dude, if I slip on a Slurpee machine in the Philippines and I crack my head open, it's probably the best place to have it happen.
Sure, the cashier's an RN. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm taking his vitals.
Yeah.
Just call 911 or whatever the Filipino 911 over there
If I
is.
did crack my head open, I'm taking my vitals. I hope there's greater urgency. But
wow. Do you guys know each other?
No.
Wow. How about this?
Wow.
I know.
Sam, this is Jillian.
Jillian.
Lovely to meet
Sam.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Just bringing working moms together. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's what like something like this is today, is to bring together a whole bunch of working moms that are in a whole bunch of different industries and different lifestyles and at different stages of motherhood to see there are opportunities, or also that you're not alone, and some of us have really young kids and some have older kids.
Yeah.
And it's also nice to see like, okay, they made it through, so then I can make it through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's a
very.
nice-
It's
yeah.
good to see people. Have been through it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You had a couple questions. I cut you off.
No, I think that was pretty. I was pretty interested. I was kind of curious about like the international nurses. Is it weird to navigate? Like, are there different rules and laws for nursing that you have to find ways around? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah, so in order to come and work in the United States, there are some pretty strict regulations. They do have to pass the United States NCLEX, so that's the nursing test.
Oh.
They have to pass an English test, and they need to be proficient in English.
Sure.
And then they also need to have some sort of nursing experience in their home country.
Do they have to be citizens?
No.
They be on a work
We
visa?
work with them with all of their immigration status. So
Wow.
we
Oh,
pay
wow.
for all of their things, and then they work for us for a period of 3 years-ish in return to technically kind of pay that back. But essentially, a lot of them get here for
That's
free.
fantastic, because as someone who's lived through the immigration policy
Yeah. Oh, how
process
about
with
that?
my
Yeah, I didn't
husband, and English was his, or still is his first language, it is extremely difficult to do that process
alone.
alone, let alone if English is not your first language.
Wow,
Yep.
that's a good
So we
point.
support through the whole process, but they get here and they work, and some people struggle and some people just excel, and that is what it is. Our Indian folks tend to struggle with English the most.
Got it.
And then India happens to be our higher, technology.
Okay.
They're the closest to us technology-wise. A lot of our other countries don't have computers in healthcare systems. Their systems are a lot less advanced than ours, so they get here. Not only are they struggling with adjusting to the American life, which is crazy as it is, English being the #1 language here, and the technology differences, it's a lot.
Interesting.
So, but we work with them. We have clinical people on staff who help and then they have someone who's assigned to them through every step of their entire process.
So do we have more or less nurses after the pandemic? Because I've heard a lot of horror stories that it seemed like it might turn people away from the profession, just because of the issues with understaffing and things like that. Or have you noticed a difference really?
I think as the population grows, the staffing shortage is going to stay. I don't know if we'll ever get on top of it, just because we're growing at such a fast rate, especially here in the U.S. That I don't know if we'll ever be able to get on top. Even with COVID, that did take a lot of people away, but people are starting to come back.
Okay.
Or are drawn to it for that reason.
That makes sense.
Is there a blue collar shortage?
Oh God,
Yeah.
extremely. It is extremely the shortage that there is. Like anywhere, I mean, there was always hard times finding laborers or good installers or anything like that, especially if you're getting very specific in the type of construction that you're doing, or especially like in this area, like historical restoration. If you can find someone that can do that, it is few and far between. They can name their price. But there's always been a shortage. But since COVID, even before COVID, probably in the last 10 years, it's been an extreme shortage.
Really?
Because the older generation has unfortunately died out. And then the younger generation was so tech heavy that they have not had anyone come up in the ranks or learn the apprenticeship or learn the trade, that it is like the ones that are doing it can more or less name their price for a lot of it.
It's pretty sick. At least they can name their price.
At the very least, you can make a little money.
As long as they do half decent work.
Yeah.
They do,
You can curse all you want.
I'm in construction. It flies
oh
like
my
that.
God, I'm sure
If they do crap work, then they can't name their price. But if they know what they're doing and are half decent at it, then they can more or less.
I'll leave you with this one. Do you think you could pass a citizenship test?
Do you know what is hysterical? So my husband has been here, well, he's been here off and on for the last 24 years, but we've been back in the country for 12 years. He is actually going for his citizenship test.
Oh, wow.
And his citizenship test is actually the end of this month. So we as a family have been studying for it, me, my husband, and my two girls, or our two girls, just to kind of help him study for it. And I sat there, I said, most people could not pass this.
I said the same thing.
It is absolutely shocking, and he's shitting himself during doing
I'm
it.
sure.
But he's panicked. He's like, I've been here for the better part of 20 years. He goes, I speak English and I'm pretty well versed. He goes, and I'm terrified that I'm not going to pass this test to become a citizen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine that.
I couldn't do it.
It is
I'm the same
actually
way.
quite difficult.
I'm born and raised. I think every once in a while I'll have a couple cocktails at night and I'll try to pass it on my own. Can't do it. Can't be done.
Do you see a citizenship test a lot? I know you're doing more work visas and stuff, but
So I actually haven't. So where I am, I'm at the end of the process. So all the people I work with are here or getting here, like arriving. So I do welcome people into the U.S. That's one of the things that I do. But I have seen questions on the test that I don't even think I can do.
Right?
And
Okay.
I'm born and raised.
like what? What's kind of like any of the questions? Any examples you can think off the top of your head?
Who's
Well,
the 12th president?
Well, yeah, they'll ask random ones like that, but some of them have to go with like the amendments and the Bill of Rights and different things, and like which amendment was this and which was that one and that. And he'll ask me, he goes, well, didn't you learn this in school? I was like, yes, I learned this 30 years ago, and I've never needed it again.
The thing about history is I feel like everybody who likes history or learns history, they all latch onto a certain period. Like I was a big World War II guy. People like Industrial Revolution. People like the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Some people like more constitutional history and stuff. Yeah, I'm like a World War II guy. So like I don't know. I couldn't tell you like the 6th Amendment. I couldn't tell you really any amendment. I feel like they're all getting amended.
Yeah.
Every now
Ask
and
real
then.
questions, dude. What was Taylor Swift's third studio album?
Oh,
Dang,
that's
I got it.
true.
Ask us the real stuff about America.
I couldn't even do that one. No.
Me either. It's a bad example.
Yeah. Who's our queen? Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
There we
Well,
go.
yes. Okay. I will.
Put her on the
agree
dollar
with
bill.
that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Who's on the 100? Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really
thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it,
Really appreciate
Sam
it.
and Jillian.
Thank you.
How'd you like your first podcast?
It was quite enjoyable. I mean, this is exciting.
Don't start your own. There's too much competition. All right.
You know
we
what?
can't have it.
I've got, as a working mom, I've got enough on my
Okay,
plate.
good.
I can't add one more
Good.
thing.
Good.
Very
Well,
nice.
thank you, ladies, so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you very
Enjoy
much.
yourselves. All right, people. Well, hey, that's the podcast. Thank you to the Working Moms Conference. Thank you to Krista. Thank you to you, the blue-collar babies. Thank you to you, the middle-class mommies. And thank you to you, the white-collar criminals. If you like this content, you want some sweet bonus content, by the time you see this, we'll have a beer mile up on the Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/menatworkpodcast. Email us at menatworkpodcast@gmail.com if you ever want us to come to your conference or you want us to come to your business or whatever. And you know what? Just keep living, dude. You got anything? Got any dates or anything you want to promote?
Dates we got coming up. A lot of stuff in August. Check my social media. I've been pumping it out. Got a busy week coming out. This will be by Wednesday. So Friday, come see me do a roast battle that Kyle had to bail on.
Sure.
I'll be judging a roast battle that Thursday beforehand. But yeah, dude, check the socials. And the next thing we'll be doing for Patreon is perhaps a T-mile.
No.
We take testosterone and we do.
Our next Patreon is going to be me versus you one-on-one on a 9-foot hoop.
I'm going to annihilate this poor guy, man.
So, all right, we love you guys. Appreciate you. Peace.